Hey everybody, this is Paul Tamayo, and I'm here with
Chris Person.
And today we're checking out one of my favorite games of all time, Lumines Remastered for the Switch. This is available today. It's also on PS4, Xbox One, and Steam, so it's basically available on everything and anything.
But you want it on the Switch,
But you want it on the Switch. Yeah, I played this game 14 years ago for the first time on the PSP, so I sort of always associate it with it being a portable game. So
it's nice to have portable games.
Oh yeah,
puzzle games portable.
Definitely. So what you'll find here is a remaster of the original game. Unfortunately, you won't find the cool Genki Rockets levels from the Xbox 360 one.
Rip.
Yeah, so rip. So yeah, you'll find challenge mode here, your standard mode, sort of your endless, all the tutorials. You'll find skin edit, which is really cool. This returns as well, so you can basically put the skins in whichever order you want and just sort of leave the ones you don't like by the wayside. If you don't like Shake Your Body, we might have some problems.
Screw you up.
Screw you. You also have time attack, which sounds exactly like it is. Puzzle mode, which will sort of task you with trying to make certain shapes out of the squares, which is really cool. It's a pretty fun mode. It's really hard though. Mission mode is one thing that I recommend to new players who are just starting out with Lumines. Maybe this is your first time jumping into Lumines, which I highly recommend. In this mode, you are trying to erase the blocks in a certain way. So it's really hard. It introduces you into like the really complex, nuanced ways that Lumines can sort of unfold as you play for long periods of time. Then you have online mode versus CPU rather, and you have two-player battle. So we're gonna jump into this a little later, but for now, I just want to sort of show you a little bit of.
Come on, give us that
sweet,
sweet Lumines.
Oh my god.
It's Lumines.
This game also introduced me to Mondo Grosso, also known as Shinichi Osawa, who I'd find out years later were the same person. And the music is just so good in this game. It's just so good.
Shinin's a classic.
Shinin is indeed a classic. So for those new to Lumines, it's a pretty standard puzzle game, except as you'll see on the screen, there's a bar that moves across according to the rhythm of the music, and that sort of eliminates the squares that you create by matching the colors accordingly.
Yeah. I love this game. I love all of the NIS games. I know we're all deeply excited, or you're deeply excited for the new, what was it, Tetris?
Tetris Effect. I can't, so I'm just trying to get all these all clear bonuses here, but Tetris Effect is like a game that was made just for me and no one else. I'm sorry, everybody, but I'll let everybody else play it. Tetris Effect is another game coming from the mind of Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who created this game.
And Rez.
And yeah.
God, what was the DS game? I'm spacing on that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Evan Narcissus would kill me because I think he loves that game. It wasn't Every Extend Extra? No. Anyway.
I think it was, actually.
Oh, it was? Okay.
It was, yeah.
Every Extend Extra is also slept on.
Yeah, for sure. So that game is essentially Tetris, but with really cool new things that you can do in it that I'm very excited about, and you can follow me on Twitter because that's all I talk about for the most part. But yeah, this game is pretty standard. The cool thing is, I will say, is if you jump, so that it uses HD, what is it called? HD Rumble.
On
the Switch.
I mean,
it's vibration in general.
It's the Trance Vibrators. So for those of you not huge Rez weirdos, back in the day, if you got the PlayStation 2 version of Rez in Japan, you were able to buy an accessory called the Trance Vibrator, which was basically just a plastic cube that, despite sounding like a sex toy, is actually not really a sex toy, although there were some people who tried with that.
Yeah.
I think it was Game Girl, I think was the name of the blog. But regardless, the difference, it basically is an additional force feedback like cube, and they sort of ported that functionality to a lot of games. They ported it to the HD versions of Rez, they ported it to this, and what's really cool about it, and this is, something that people who don't play this game don't realize, is it's not just a second version of the same force feedback. It's actually like a kind of stereoscopic, or like
3D sound.
3D sound. So it'll like be vibrating on a different part of the beat rather than the sort of normal, like it'll do the downbeat or something like that.
Right. So, and what's cool about this remaster is I'm just going to show it off real quick. If you go to the vibration portion of the menus, you'll see that you can actually keep it on rhythm and blocks or just blocks only. So that sounds like what it is. Every time you drop a block, it'll sort of vibrate. But if you keep it on rhythm and blocks and then you activate Trance Vibration, you can sync up to 8 Joy-Con total to your Switch, and then sort of, if you want, put them all over your body.
Duct tape them, that's the old joke.
Duct tape them to your forehead. And then you'll feel different parts of the song depending on, how they play out. So like on one Joy-Con, like Chris mentioned earlier, you might feel the bass line. On another one, you might actually feel like the synthesizers or whatever. So it's a really cool. So Chris actually has the other 2 Joy-Cons in his hand right now. You can't see this, but
I'm holding them.
He's holding the other 2 Joy-Cons, so he's gonna hear the rhythm and like the music, the way the song plays out. I will say, if you're playing this in a quiet place, maybe turn vibration off, because the Joy-Con get really loud. Actually, I didn't notice that until
we started recording.
Yeah, but what's really cool is so I'm gonna back out now. Just go back to the main menu. This game is just like it's one of my favorite games of all time. I've been playing it since I was a teenager in high school, and I will probably play it until I'm on my deathbed. But we're gonna jump into a 2-player battle.
We are
here. Chris, you want to sync up? Here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick "Shake Your Body" because this is one of my favorite songs.
You're gonna kick my ass. But yeah, just a couple of things other than that. I mean, I know you have synesthesia.
I do.
This is a huge thing with all of these Ms. games, is sort of the exploration of synesthesia or the crossing. It's a mental, I don't know what you call it. It's a syndrome where you basically like.
Yeah, like a couple of the wires in your brain are crossed. So in my case, I can actually see sounds. So I can see colors, specifically dealing with tones and notes and stuff, just music in general. So the cool thing about, like Chris was alluding to. Oh man,
damn. No, I see. This is
do a retry.
Whatever you do, don't talk about synesthesia and try to beat somebody in a game that you haven't played in like 3 years.
Yeah, I'll take over the synesthesia part. So synesthesia is essentially like I mentioned before. So I can see sounds and in my head. So what's cool about Tetsuya Mizuguchi and Enhance and Resonaire at this point, people that are going to be making Tetris Effect moving forward, you can actually totally see what synesthesia sort of looks like in the Tetris Effect trailer, at least for me. And it's just fun to see a developer explore that kind of that idea in a very rudimentary way, because obviously it's not a one-to-one translation of what synesthesia is, but
no, of course not.
Also, everyone has different forms of people have different forms of synesthesia. So it can be taste, it can be smell. Mine happen to be sound and sight. So it's pretty cool. That's also why I also just love this game so much.
Well, you fuck with Miz so hard. Yeah.
It gets me, man.
Just gets you.
Just gets the people going. So yeah, this is going to be a fun way to also just kind of pass the time if you happen to be with friends and you want to get some luminous action going on. It's just a good time, man. It's always a good time. I've loved this game since I was a teenager. I will continue to love it until the end of time, or until my reflexes will allow me to. Shameless
until you
plug.
get old as me.
Until I get as old as Chris, and then I won't be.
Then somebody younger than you who will kick your ass in Luminous.
Yeah, that's definitely what's gonna happen. And you know what? I'm ready for it.
Yeah, the one thing I think we've talked about this a little bit. Like the one thing that I'm sort of thrown off by is that you can't. At least off the bat, it doesn't let you use the joysticks.
It's weird.
It just it forces you to use the D-pad, which is just. I don't know if there are any PSP nub defenders in the comments. If you love that weird PSP nub.
Yeah, you weirdos.
It's fine.
Yeah, it is weird that it doesn't give you the option at least. It would, because I mean on the 360, I definitely played with the joystick. It would have been nice to just have that option. Sometimes you want to play that way versus the weird sort of D-pad setup that the Switch has. But it's not bad. It's fine. It totally works. That vibration feels real good. It's also really hard to play Luminous and talk at the same time. But I have literally been training my entire life.
Incredibly hard to concentrate on 2 things like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I screwed myself up really easily there.
It's all good. You're in luck because you know what? This game comes out today, and you can practice it. You can practice it at home.
Getting embarrassed on YouTube.
And then we can have Luminous battles at work.
Oh,
so,
well.
Yeah, that's pretty much Luminous in a nutshell. Luminous Remastered, at least. I highly recommend checking this game out. It's one of my favorite games of all time, especially if you're into puzzle games and rhythm games like I am. Sort of a beautiful crossroads or nexus of the two.
One of the best puzzle games, aside from Tetris Attack or whatever the Japanese name for that was. I used to remember.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, get it. It's good. It's Luminous. You know what it is.
You
It's
know what it
Luminous.
is. You already
it's
know what it
Luminous. It's Luminous on your Switch. You can play it anywhere.
It's
Anyway.
so good. But yeah, thanks for checking this video out, and we'll see you around. Boy, peace.